This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all. I'm Shashina Rule. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the nation's leader, family, friends, and the Grand Bahama community coming together to pay homage to a man regarded as an extraordinary businessman, an astute Bahamian, and one of the pillars of the city of Freeport. On Saturday, the late Sir Albert Miller was laid to rest following a homegoing service at the Pro-Cathedral of Christ the King, and many agreed that he has left behind a remarkable legacy. It was a homegoing service fit for a king. Sir Albert Miller's casket was ushered into the Pro-Cathedral Christ the King by members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. The nation's leader, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, parliamentarians and officials of the Grand Bahama Port Authority joined family members in saying their last goodbye. Many tears were shed by his children and grandchildren, some even struggling to get through tributes during the service. The Prime Minister told those in attendance that Sir Albert was a great man and an authentically great Bahamian.
Sir Albert was a man of character, a man of courage and conviction, a man of talent and ability, of dedication and discipline, of generosity and of kindness, of loyalty and of service. And Sir Albert applied these abundant resources of his being in a way that not only earned for himself great personal success in multiple spheres of endeavors, but they also earned him the appreciation, the admiration, and the gratitude of so many persons from so many different walks of life, particularly those who were helped by him in a way or one way or another over many years.
He was also regarded as one who gave unselfishly, especially when it came to his church, Pro-Cathedral of Christ the King.
Nothing that I asked for the church, I did not get. He did not give. He gave, and he gave willingly and generously.
But those who knew him best say he was not just a successful businessman or a former executive of the port. He was a man who prized his family above all.
He would always say I was eating him out of house and home, and from that day forward I became known as Gubba. He always said he would rather clothe me than feed me. After a good meal came a good nap. We would know how good the nap was based on how loud he was snoring. We to this day still don't know how Grammy managed every night.
We all have wonderful memories of our trips to Chub Key and Walker's Key, where boating and fishing were always on the agenda. Being on the boat was definitely one of Pa's favorite pastimes. We went on so many trips, but the highlight of each trip was spending time with family.
The Right Reverend Leish Boyd delivered the sermon.
And if we are here today and gone tomorrow, then I say to you, acknowledge God today in your life. Know him and his paths. Seek his ways and pursue them. For this is the best of our human journey. This is the best of our human potential. And this is the best way to become everything that we can be.
At the end of the service, Sir Albert's casket was draped in the Bahamian flag and carried out by members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. He was interred at the Columbarium at the Pro-Cathedral Christ the King. Well, sad news from the island of San Salvador that hits home right here on Grand Bahama. The son of Bishop Godfrey Williams of Jubilee Cathedral was reportedly missing since Friday, August 14th. Kimberly Mullings fills us in.
He is my oldest son, and truly many persons perhaps do not know him because I had him before I got married.
A man known for giving back to the community on Grand Bahama Island, Bishop Godfrey Williams, is now asking for the public's assistance in locating his son. 40-year-old Pedro Levant Williams, last seen Friday, August 14th, around 11:06 p.m. in San Salvador.
We did some search. Police traveled up there on Saturday past as well, and they have done some search to no avail. So at this point in time, we have not seen or heard from him.
Like his father, Pedro Williams was a family man in the church, a father of 3. Unfortunately, the night before Pedro was to renew his vows with his wife Nayoka, he went missing.
They were about to renew their marriage vow on the 15th of this month in San Salvador. He purchased the ring, he purchased her dress, the food stuff for the reception. But on Friday, he just went missing Friday night.
Of course, leaning on his faith, Bishop Williams says he and his family are keeping hope alive that his son Pedro is alive. And if Pedro is listening, he has a message for him.
Daddy loves you, and he is extending his love to you and hoping that you will hear this. And if you can't go home, come to be with me. I'll be happy to embrace you. I just want you, Pedro, to know that there are so many persons out there who care for you.
Remaining human, Bishop admits that this is a tough time for his family and requests the prayers of the nation.
I believe that's the only thing that is keeping me now is prayers. There are a number of persons who I know out there love me and my family, and they're praying for us as we go through this challenge. Sometimes, you know, you're overwhelmed. You cannot even pray like you ought to pray. And that's when you need those who love you to actually pray for and with you. I need the prayers.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Kim. Well, if anyone knows the whereabouts of Pedro Levant Williams, age 40 of North Victoria Hills, San Salvador, or has any leads or useful information that may assist police with their investigations, you are urged to contact your nearest police station. Over on the island of Abaco, residents were bracing themselves for the impending tropical storm Erika. In this report, Megan Shepard tells us that many were confident that the island would not be affected. Meantime, the administrator is still reminding residents to stay alert.
Residents in the northwest Bahamas can breathe a sigh of relief as tropical storm warnings have been canceled. Family Island Administrator for Central Abaco, Preston Cunningham, says that while he is thankful that Erika has dissipated, he wants residents to continue to remain alert.
But what I want to say is that residents should ensure that they do not just totally relax themselves, because it's my understanding that we could still get quite an amount of rain. And if we examine what would have occurred elsewhere in the Caribbean, we would see where rain was a serious factor. And so I expect quite some rain to fall between now and Monday. And so I just want to remind residents to exercise every precautionary measure.
Cunningham notes that there are still several months left in the hurricane season and that it is important to stay tuned and prepared for any unexpected weather conditions.
We are still in the hurricane season. Any piece of weather can pop up at any given time, sometimes expectedly, sometimes unexpectedly. So what it means is residents must remain alert. Always check your weather station every single day.
Now, before the announcement of the breakdown of Tropical Storm Erika, our ZNS News team spoke with residents on Abaco. They were not feeling threatened by the impending storm, and their predictions turned out to be correct.
Erika, it's not too bad, for the Bahamas. I don't believe it'll hit the Bahamas. If it do, everybody should be prepared and get well and ready for it. But through God, grace and strength, everybody's going to be all right through the storm.
I just think everyone should be prepared and don't wait for a hurricane. Do things to your house, year round. I think we need to be prepared because then you never know. I was here during Floyd and I was totally wiped out, and so I'm taking precautions.
I don't think she coming to Abaco. She probably hitting the north part of Bimini, Berry Islands, and she ain't coming to Abaco. I get all my supply, my water and stuff and everything, the regular batteries, stuff like that. If those people was what was going on, all they need is spam and apple cider. You know, hurricane coming. The hurricane going to Haiti and Cuba. Ain't taking no meter rather just to figure that out. Just common sense. So I'm not ready for hurricane because I don't think there's going to be a hurricane.
Reporting from Abaco, I'm Megan Shepard for ZNS Network News.
Well, in the meantime, residents on Grand Bahama are also keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Erika. Sabrina Brown visited the Western District on Saturday and she filed this report.
Residents in Grand Bahama can now breathe a sigh of relief after being spared from the wrath of Tropical Storm Erika, the deadly storm unleashing its fury on parts of the Caribbean, killing at least 20 people in Dominica and setting that island nation back some 20 years before breaking up over the mountainous Hispaniola. Here at home, just before the all-clear was given on Saturday, we took a drive through the community of West End. Residents there know all too well the ravages a hurricane can bring. Some were leaving nothing to chance while hoping for the best.
Yeah, I think it's just better to be safe than sorry.
When I hear storm coming now, I take it serious, you know. I doesn't sit there and just wait till it comes and take action. I take action before it reaches.
I have my faith in God that it would turn away from us and we will be just all right.
West End's anchor property Old Bahama Bay also erring on the side of caution and going into hurricane mode.
We put those actions in place as of Friday afternoon, and the staff got together and we were able to secure the property to the status that we know it's for the status of the type of hurricane that we were expecting.
Local fishermen giving thanks that the storm dissipated and they can continue to take to the high seas.
We just sitting down the other day watching, see what's going to happen because we hear a little good news that it is breaking itself up, and we give God thanks for that.
We both, so definitely we looking at it in a totally different way. So, you know, we keep a really close eye on it. So, just hoping for the best.
Forecasters are now watching Hurricane Fred. However, it is not expected to be a threat to the Bahamas. Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. We're just a day away from the official start of the 2015-2016 school year, and a local educator has some advice for parents on how they can prepare their children for a successful year ahead. Sabrina Brown reports.
As students prepare to head back to the classroom, Education Coordinator at Oxford Learning, Alicia Walgu, says there are a number of key areas parents should focus on to ensure their children are mentally ready for the new academic year. She says the first thing you should do is review last year's report card.
By doing that, you're able to have an academic refresher of what happened, and it also reminds you of the highs and the lows that happened last year. Number 2, set academic goals. This is very important. By setting the academic goals, number 1, you're able to review the outcomes that happened last year, and then also set some academic achievements that can be reached this year.
She says stick to a routine, get rid of bad habits, and ensure your child gets adequate sleep.
You want your students to be alert. You want them to be able to retain information. And how can they do that if they're not sharp in class? And how do you be sharp in class? You need the adequate sleep, at least 12 hours. Have your children in bed by 8 o'clock so they can start, give them a good breakfast, make sure it's a balanced meal, and allow them to go to class sharp with their brain hydrated, make sure they have a lot of water.
It is also a good idea to use an agenda.
And use an agenda not only for school, but for other things than schools. Agenda isn't just for homework. It can be used for chores, extracurricular activities, prioritizing your workflow. Also, it can be used for a countdown for tests.
The educator also recommends lots of reading.
In order for your vocabulary to expand, you have to read. In order for your writing skills to be good, you have to have a good vocabulary. You want the reader to see descriptive words. And how can they describe things if their vocabulary is limited? The way to do that is read. Read, 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 and you'll be able to have an expanded vocabulary and also have good writing skills.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
And now it's time to ask the doctor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Sky from Freeport asked, I've had postnasal drip for several weeks. What can I take for this? Thanks for your question, Sky. The term postnasal drip refers to the sensation of mucus thickening or dripping in the back of your throat. It is a condition that can irritate your throat, causing you to develop a sore throat or cough. If you have a nasal allergy, you may also develop a stuffy nose. The treatment for postnasal drip depends on finding the cause. A correct diagnosis requires a detailed ear, nose, and throat exam, and perhaps laboratory and x-ray studies. Depending on the diagnosis, possible treatments include taking antibiotics if a bacterial infection is the cause, using oral medications, nasal sprays, and allergy shots for when allergies are the cause, taking antacid medications if gastric reflux disease is the cause, or having surgery done for chronic sinus disease. Other methods that you can try include taking a mucus thinning medication, such as Mucinex, using saline nasal sprays to remove excess mucus, bacteria, or allergens, and using a humidifier to increase the amount of moisture in the air. If you have a question, please post it at PHA Bahamas on Facebook or email askthedrbahamas@gmail.com. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we come back.
Everybody, it's sports time. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. The IAAF World Championships came to a close on Sunday, folks, in Beijing, China, with the high jumpers Donald Thomas and Trevor Barron competition. Donald placed 6th, clearing 2.29 meters at 7 feet 6 inches. As far as Trevor, 10th, clearing 2.25, and that's equivalent of 7 feet 4.5 inches. But Team Bahamas returns home with 2 medals, folks. Shawnee Miller with the silver in the women's 400 meters, and Jeffrey Gibson with the bronze in the 400-meter hurdles. As for Team Bahamas, finishing 22nd overall, second behind Jamaica with 16 medals as far as the Caribbean nations are concerned. Bahamas' 4-member under-12 national tennis team is on their way home from Curacao. They competed in the ITF Caribbean Kotek Championship. You see the girls, Emma Weege and Persia Major, they finished 4th. As far as our boys, as the Nelly Nada and Anthony Burrows, they all had a ball and finished 6th in the competition. Coach Ron Roll said the junior players were simply outstanding, and we want to say to them, welcome back home. Now, as far as our junior swimmers from the FINA, they're down there in Singapore. Lily Higgs and Margaret Higgs and also Niema Fernanda, they're both 2 on their way home. They had some heated competition as well. Now, the Grand Bahama Amateur Softball Association and the Abaco Softball Association connected with a successful event. The Road to the Bahamas Softball Federation Round Robin Tournament. You see, provided excitement and opportunity for the teams to actually experience inter-island play. Well, as far as the men's championship, the Taylor's Outlaws, they defeated the Controlled Chemical Sweepers 22-15 to win at one. The ladies' finals, the Grand Bahama Wolverines defeated the Abaco Lady All-Stars 13-0. GBSA Secretary Martha Edgecombe says fast pitch is alive and well, and the tournament showed that.
Softball is not completely dead on the island of Grand Bahama. We've been doing extremely well with slow pitch. It's just the fast pitch side of it now has been or is suffering, and so with this fast pitch tournament being introduced to Grand Bahama, hopefully it'll get the ball rolling and people more interested in fast pitch, that they can actually remember, oh well, this is the fun that fast pitch used to be.
The game of softball is about to take a new direction, and the GBSA knows that direction is going to be a positive one because of the fan support.
With this tournament this weekend, we're seeing more people come out to the park, whether it be for family reasons, family coming in from other islands, whatever it is. But we have more people that's now flocking to the park, remembering how fun fast pitch used to be. And so hopefully we'll get, an increase of interested persons who would probably want to join or play fast pitch next season.
And the GBSA also plans to get back on the diamond this weekend. Hopefully the same thing will apply over there in Abaco. NFL cut today. Guys cutting the teams down. Season will start in about a week. And all of my Dolphin friends talking smack. You guys be very careful. Very, very careful. That's a look at your sports tonight.